This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself. Today we have a refrigerator that is just running all the time, and it's probably due to a dirty condenser, and it's pretty easy to clean it up. We're pulling off the front grill here just so we can see if we can get rid of some of the dust that accumulates. There's a fan that just pulls in dust and cat fur and all kinds of stuff all day long. So this is an area you can reach in and make sure it's unplugged and just pull out any dust that you see. Some dust bunnies right here. And some of these refrigerators have a grill right in this area that you can clean, and some have it on the back. This one, it's on the back, so we're going to unplug it and we're going to remove some screws that are holding on this cardboard covering. Sometimes these coverings are made of sheet metal, sometimes they're made of cardboard. Pretty easy to just zip off the screws so that hold it. These are 1/4 inch screws. We're going to pull off the cardboard, and then you can use a small vacuum, or you can even use like a paintbrush to get this area right here clean. And this is the condenser area where the refrigerant is able to release its heat that it pulls out of the freezer and out of the refrigerator, mainly the freezer. And if these coils are really dirty, the fan has trouble blowing off that heat, and this makes your refrigerator have trouble getting rid of the heat, and that makes it have to run more often, and it uses a lot of energy. It kind of wears out your refrigerator prematurely too. So we're just using a brush. This is a steel brush to get in there and get a hold of some of that dirt that's inside the coils. And you could also use an old toothbrush would work, or if you have a really skinny attachment on your vacuum, that'd be great. So not only loosening the dust, but getting the dust out of this general area is really great, because if you just loosen it but you don't get rid of it, when you start up the refrigerator, there's a tendency for that dust to kind of get sucked back in and end up repeating the cycle. So what I'm doing here with the brush is just grabbing it and then pulling it out, getting it away from the refrigerator. But having a vacuum would be even better, because that's going to definitely get rid of all the dust. So you could probably do this every 6 months, and your refrigerator will run a lot better. So refrigerators are all about their ability to get rid of heat, taking heat from inside the freezer, and the system pulls it down into this area, and a fan blows on these coils and dissipates that heat, gets it out of the area. So having your refrigerator too close to the back wall can be trouble, because it's harder for that heat to leave the refrigerator. So creating a little bit of space is good, and making sure that in front of the refrigerator where that grill was is clear helps, because that's where a lot of the airflow goes. And it's just normal for these to get really dusty, because there's a lot of dust in the house, especially if you have a pet. It's going to tend to pull a lot of the fur in there. And the way you know you have trouble is you'll hear the compressor constantly going. And that's either really dirty coils, or it could be that you might have a refrigerant leak where some of the stuff is leaking out and it's not able to cool the refrigerator like it should. But that's kind of rare. It's more commonly that they're just dirty. So now I'm going to try to get rid of all this dust that's hanging out in this area so it doesn't get sucked back into the system. I'm cleaning the fan, just getting rid of every bit of dust I can find. And again, you can use a brush and a vacuum, or even a brush by itself, as long as you can get the dust out of that area when you're done. So this is the cardboard cover that goes back in. Again, sometimes these are made of sheet metal. And I'm going to also use the brush to clear out these holes, because this is where some of the air gets sucked in by the fan to help cool down those coils. And that's where they have all the refrigerant that's come down with heat from the freezer that needs to be dissipated, and that refrigerant is then pumped back up, and it just keeps doing that cycle, kind of like a heat pump. It pulls the heat out of your freezer, out of your refrigerator. So I'm putting this back in now. I'm sliding it back in to the bottom lip, and then I'll add those screws in. Some people ask, is it okay just to leave these panels off? It's better to put them back in. That's how the system is designed. What's really limiting airflow is just the dust that accumulates here in the back where we just cleaned, and also in the front. And you want to make those areas as clear as possible. So we're putting those screws back in, getting that tight, and then we're going to get all this dust out of this area. And I am going to keep about a 4-inch gap between the back of the refrigerator and the back wall, just to create a little bit better air circulation. Some people complain that their refrigerator just isn't cooling as well, like the ice cream's melting. It can be a result of really dirty coils. That's possible because it can't get rid of the heat. So this did the trick for this refrigerator. Hope it helps you too. And we'll plug it back in and give it a test. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe when you get a chance. Thanks again.